G'day, how you going? Ian Apples here, your acrylic guru from Australia. Welcome to my YouTube channel where I teach you beginners and advanced beginners how to paint in acrylic. And these are my free gifts to you. I'll give you the size of my canvas that I'm using, and I'll also put some colours going up the screen so you can grab something similar to mine, or if you've got the same, you can use the same. Now I've got a stretch canvas that I'm going to use today. I've run out of canvas cloth, so until I get more I've got to use up all my little canvas panels. Come on over here and I'll show you what we're putting on the canvas. So I've got my horizon line. It's not a straight one, it's a bit coming down in the middle and coming up, okay, because we want to get some vision and point of center and distance within this painting. Now from the horizon line we're going to have a mixed mid-ground of trees. We've got some, they're going to finish about here and come over the back there, and they're going to be behind these forward trees. Now just a little tip for you beginners, when you're doing trees on horizon line, see how I've got it drawn out there, they're pretty much sitting on the horizon line. Don't paint them like that. If you can, get some lower so they look like they've got distance backwards and forwards. If you just put them all standing up like tin soldiers in a row, it's going to look a bit weird. And we'll have some beautiful snow and the sun setting down here. All right, I'm going to use my big, beautiful flat putter on a brush, and I want to get some Craft soft titanium bodied titanium white in my brush, mixed it with some retarder. So it's going to keep it wet longer and I can blend my beautiful sky. Now with this, do your type of sky, whether you want it a purpley sunset, violety, or bright red, orangey, a lot of glare in it, whatever, just do your style of a sunset. That's what we're going to do in this painting now. So while I do that, I'll get this craft paint onto the tooth of the canvas, just to my horizon line there. I drew those pencil lines just so you can see what's in my mind, even though I'm not in Carolina. But anyway, I'm in Australia, Perth. Want to say hello and tell me where you're from? Now I'm going to stroke that left and right once I get it all into the tooth of the canvas. Now I'm just going to go for some different kind of sunsetting sky. I've got my yellow ochre here, so I'll pull that onto me, put her on a brush, and I've got some Indian yellow there. If you don't have Indian yellow, see if you can find a deep yellow. And my treetops are going to be about here, okay? I'm just going to draw this here so you see what I mean. Okay, so I want this colour just radiating across the horizon line and coming above that. So that's roughly how high I've got to put that, okay? That's what's going on. So I'll get this put on there, pick up some more because it's dulling down. There we go. Just up there like that. Beautiful. I'm happy with that. Very happy with that. Now I'm going to wipe the brush. Now back down here, I did a bit more than wiping it, I actually washed it. Picking up the Indian yellow. I love Indian yellow. Watch what this does when it hits that canvas. It's just going to go, wow. Watch this. Oh, look at that, beautiful. I want to crisscross that into it a little bit and then start bringing that up on its own, pretty much there. There we go. Now I want to blend that into there a bit. Now if I feel I've lost too much of that yellow ochre, which I do feel I have, I'm going to just wipe the brush. I don't have to be cheeky and wash the whole lot. I want to grab some more of that yellow ochre just to get, there we go. Just so we got that vibe happening there. Beautiful. Get that lump off there. I don't know what sort of sunset this is, but it's an artistic sunset. All right, now I've cleaned the brush. Now something a bit different. I've got dioxine purple. Yeah, I'm not using blue. I want this kind of a winter evening weird vibe about the reflections I'm going to have in the snow and in the sky. So I want the dark, I want mainly this corner dioxine purple and fading down into glaring nothing. Okay, so I'm going to put that on, put it on, crisscross it on, and then let it, I'm coming to the tip of this brush from there to there, and I'm going to slowly control what I'm bringing down into that, to near that yellow, and that yellow can slowly be picked up now, merging with this. Look at that. Now I've just wiped that brush, I haven't washed it, and I want to just stroke this left and right nice and easy. I'm just testing it. Now I feel this is going to put too much of the purple over there, so I'm going to stop with that brush and pick up one of my blending brushes and I will blend the lighter colour first, because if I blend the darker colour, we're going to contaminate it into the light. So I want to blend this together where it's meeting the yellow. Just blending it. I'm tapping it on and off, getting rid of the brush strokes, controlling what's happening on my canvas there. Now I'm going to wipe. See how it's starting to bring yellow up there? It's the camera picking up that yellow. Wiping that on my kitchen cloth. Now I want to get this white. I should have concentrated on this white before I went up from the yellow. There we go, that's working. Now I don't want to come back into there, otherwise you'll create a boo-boo. And now I'm going to just slightly get rid of those brush strokes and dance that together so it looks lusciously luscious. Because there's nothing better than a lusciously luscious painting, I'm telling you right now. And to me it was important that I get that glare in the middle of the painting. I wanted it there. You don't have to if you don't want to. You do your type of sunsetting sky. I'm just playing with colours here, so I want to show you guys something different, unique, something that hopefully stands out. I'm going to come across here because I might put a bit of a cloud there. So see what I've done? I pretty much created the darkness of that cloud. Alright, I've got my fan brush and I've got some titanium white out of the tube. It's a lot more thicker than that craft paint I used in the beginning. This is what I use to paint my white in my paintings. And knowing that my trees, I might put something scooting maybe from here and just kind of coming down into the painting like so, just like that. Let's see what that's going to look like. Clouds make themselves up as they go. Now I want to just leave the top of that. See that paint? It's all wet still. And then just pull the bottom of this down with one of my older blending brushes here. Pull it down, make it all. Don't get a uniform pattern happening. Just let the brush make it up like nature would. Lightly touching the top, coming down, making open gaps within it. Tear that end right out so it's not just stopping. Wipe the build up. Look at the build up on my brush. Wipe all that off. You don't even have to put these clouds in if you don't want to. And I'm just going to bring this down to the horizon there somewhere. Now I'm feeling that's a bit too much like a ramp. I've got to stop doing that. I subconsciously do that. So what I'm going to do is just distort that ramp a bit if I can. And now this next cloud we do up here should be a different colour because we've got different shadows in it. Now I cleaned that brush and I'm going to go again. So I'm going to take advantage of that bit there. That's going to be the bottom of my overhead cloud. So I might just get something up here and just flip-flop. Try and create the shape of a cloud. Notice I use the word try because I'm always trying. Just like we all do, we all try. I might just grab myself another blending brush because it's always good to have a lot of blending brushes. That one's a bit dirty. Now I want to marry that darker colour into the bottom of the cloud just like that. Okay, softly blend it. Look what's on the brush again. Wipe it. Keep the bottom of that there. We can tassel over there a bit. Yeah, I'm loving that. Wipe it. Now get the top of this distorted and into some kind of cloud-like. Leave some vibrancy there, some brighter bits and duller bits. And now after this, we'll just simply add our yumminess. So once again, I've cleaned that brush, I've reloaded it. Now I want to find, see this cloud, it's all kind of the one smeary colour. There's a lot of vibrancy right there a bit. So what I want to try and do now is to create the dimension of this cloud, getting something on the top there a bit, something tucked in there, and we'll probably finish the edge of it out here. But you need it in stepping stone bits and blocks like that, so as the bits in between create the fading out situation of it all.
I like the fading out situation, Ian, of it all. That sounds good.
Okay, don't muck with it, that'll do. Now watch what I do here. I'm just going to go to the corner of my blending brush. I want to leave the top and I want to just sit that down, but distorting the end away. Don't just stop. Remember how I did it on this cloud down here? distort those ends away. Do the same again. That's what's going on in my head. And we're simply going to try and get dimension within this cloud. 9 times out of 10 it works, because that's the way I've been doing it for a while now. Took me years to discover how to paint clouds the way I do, and a lot of practice is needed. Okay, so don't feel you're just starting painting they should look exactly like this straight away. Do learn to crawl before you walk. And we'll just have a look at that cloud, and you can see just how that yumminess made it look more popping. Now everything's had a dry. I want the dipping spot mainly about here. I don't want it right in the center. I'd rather it off the edge a bit, and that's where the ground's sort of going to come up, and it's here like this. There's my horizon line. Now I'm going to draw it in for you people so you know what's coming on to the canvas. There's going to be some shrubs and mid-ground trees here, okay, just like so, all different heights, but not too big. Don't want them massive and too big, just want them all the way out there like that. And then we're going to do some trees in front of it, so we'll do that first. Now I want to grab me burnt umber and black. I want to blackulate the burnt umber so it's not black and it's not burnt umber, it's just dark. Now I'm using this brush to mix it, but I'm going to use a brush that will create, which is a Deerfoot, which will create procedures like that on my canvas. So any brush that you got that can do that, use it. It doesn't have to be a Deerfoot. Now do make sure that your paint's watered down enough, just enough so it's going to transfer from your brush onto the canvas, not where it's so transparent. Now with that line there, I've just drawn that there so you know where I'm going to paint my snow in, so I can go beyond that. I want to get this hairy, let's start from here and then bring it out. Just a nice kind of bush, starting hairy, bringing it out. Having that pencil line there does help. There we go. Now where it's the horizon line, I can get it actually darker. Now if you don't want all this paint on your lower half of the canvas, you can tape it up. I might tape it up just so as I don't have any trouble with my snow down here. So I've taped it up gingerly. Come along here. And because the bottom's got to be really thick and condensed. I'm just holding my tape a bit there. I'm getting I'm just concentrating on the tops, getting them the shape that I want, the texture I want, the value that I want, which is fine. And then darken that up down here. It's just that easy. When you know what to do, you can do it. And if you can't quite do it, you can do it when you put a lot of practice into it, okay? Now what I want to do, see the edges of all these trees here? I want to get them burnt with some lit sunlight, just really lighting them up. So I'm going to come out a bit finer and furrier. Look at that. See what I just did there? The brush is dry. I want that to do that.
Can we see you pull the tape off, Ian?
Okay, I'll get rid of that tape because I don't need it now. And we'll get some of the burnt umber and the cadmium yellow. I want to mix up a brighter value of that, what we just put on. So the very thin tips of those branches would look like they're being hit by sunlight. So I've got my smaller Deerfoot. I've dried the canvas. Let's try this big one over here. It's just coming into that darker brown, just so it looks like it's lit with light. I want to have a look in my monitor just to see how it's faring. Just pretty much want this all the way along. Alright, I'm just going to fare that out a bit more there, make it really hairy, and there we go. Grabbing the bigger Deerfoot just so as I can sit this back in front of it again. Putting this in front of it helps lock it back down into, so it's not look like it's sitting on the tops of them, it's like it's sitting them down. You'll see when I just put this darker bit next to it again. It's just minor, but it's the small things that count. I'm happy with that. My cows have come home. Now what I'm doing, I'm coming anywhere, just, I'll start here. I want some real distant ones, so tiny. Just like that, into the black, boom. They've even got to be skinnier than that if I can, but I want to get a couple of, just come up. That'll do, one there, put one here. Make sure your paint's the perfect consistency of inkingness, so this will work. And I want another one next to it. I'm turning the brush, trying to keep it as sharp as possible. Just the littlest bits. That's too fat for my liking, but it's there. I need my mouse stick to control what I'm leaning on. And we want some, lots of little ones. Come from the dark, find your thickness. I might just add the slightest branch to some of these. Just the slightest. That'll do. Now what we're going to do now is create some distance. So this ground is going to cut down in front of that. So I'm going to put the trees, the big trees that I want here. Then I will paint the ground in and bring these trees more forward by putting them on the ground that we've painted, if that makes sense. So I want something about here. I'm just going to put my trunk in, just twisting it, twisting it, twisting it. That'll do. Boom. Now from the wiggles and the lines you've made with that, find out where your branches can be. Now try not to get your branches all just coming out like a hand where it looks like a pressed flower. You want things to criss and cross. I'll get the main stuff on, which is there. You want things to cross over, just like so. Not much of this is crossing over, but you get the gist of what I mean. That's one big tree. There. I don't like the way it's got three just coming off the main one, so what I might do is just to distort that is get something out here with enough, wet enough paint just to break that up. Now watch, up, stop, nodulate it. That's what I call nodulating. And within all these you can do your finer branches, and then we can add the detail. So I want to come in front of that there, I want to come in front of that there, I want to come in front of that there, I want to come in front of that there. See how I crisscrossed everything over? It just looks a little bit more unpressed flowered like. Don't feel obligated to do uniform branches, make them all different. That'll do. Now I've dried what's on the canvas and I've got me deerfoot again, and I'll do this one first. Just kind of build up around the branches there, bit coming out there. Get it on there first, and then you can start making the busyness of it, and I'll tell you, I'll show you in this video what I mean about the busyness of it. Some there, there. Get it on there. I might need my smaller one as well, just to create different sections and blobs of all this. Now that's all the dead tree stuff. Look how easy that was to do. Even though I'm not that great at trees, that was very easy. You can do that. Now what I want to do is create the density closest to the trunks. So I'm grabbing my smaller deerfoot, so as all around here it's a lot thicker. And you'll see, leaving those sticky trunks there, don't disguise all of those too much. We'll get this one a bit darker there. Leave some gaps, and I'll start here now. And I controlled the amount of sticky, dabbing, stamping foliage within that tree. Now what I want to do is, I've given that a dry, start laying this foreground snow in there. And I'm simply going to grab me white and get a value of this, the dioxine purple. This will be, I want 3 values, dark, medium and light. So this will be the darker value. I might actually put some ultramarine blue in that just to get it the depth that I want. There we go, that's the darker value of our white. Now I'm going to simply come across this horizon here, pushing that down. That line that I've got there, I can see it. So we're going to come along here. There we go there. We'll get this dancing up. Doesn't have to be a sharp line. The brush edge is enough. Now I want to simply just block all this in with this value, just so as we can detail this snow and bring it home. Now these colours I'm just using because I feel once the painting is actually finished, it's just going to capture people's eyesight and make them look at it. Okay, I've done that. I do want it darker, so I'm grabbing a lot more of that French ultramarine. So getting some of this now, that's what's on there. This is going to make it a bit darker. So I'm gonna do this. I will dry it a little bit, just so this will stick on. I want it mainly out here, just pockets of darkness. Small bits, long bits, short bits, stumpy bits. Anything you have not done in this video, but you're really liking it, practice it. That's the key to getting successful art, is practicing. A lot of people message me and tell me what their problems are, and I can tell they're just expecting to be able to paint it straight away, but we all need our practice. I'm just going to put some bits and bobs like this in here as well. Just and maybe some, let's just see if we can get some kind of, someone's walked all the way out there, or they were over there and they walked back over here just to take this photo type of thing. I do want some more darker here. Now I feel I want a bit more darker now, just to add some depth in there. So in doing that, we'll grab some more of the French ultramarine blue, and we'll grab a bit more of the dioxine. Is that going to help it or hinder it? Let's see what it does. I think it should help it. There we go, it's a lot darker. And get some of this a lot more darker out there. Just within that first colour we put this bluey colour we put down. Picking up a lot more dioxine in there because I feel there's not enough. Oh, there we go. That's the darkness I want. Just Just tempering out here, some within that there. Little dots here and there. Do we need any of that? We need the depth of these a lot darker, right in the guts of those holes there, just to give it more realistic vibe. Now don't worry if you've done some of this and it's not the way you want it. You can always get the lighter colour and bring it back. So things are starting to happen. I want to get this bigger tree in now, but see how they're all on that line? This one's going to come down past it. And once we've got that into position, then we can sit it to the ground and detail it in. So we're going to use the same brush we used before for the other trees. We got the black this time. It's just going to be black now. There's a little bit of the brown left in there, but this is just going to be the black. And I want him to come from about here. That's the base of it there, about that wide and fat. And he's probably going to come up. So let's work out how we want this to go. I want the trunk to sort of come around, up here, and it's pretty much going to stop up to there somewhere, okay? So that's what we're going to do. So we'll get this nice and fat. Now I know where I'm going. I've got that line there. I'm not going to have trouble wondering where I am, or am I putting it in the right spot, or so on like that. And it's going to gradually get thinner as it comes up to the top. Have it all jingly jangly and scruffy like that. Nice and sharp like that. Now I want lots of just detailing the silhouette of this. Now just getting bits of real sharp bits and bobs coming from it before we detail it with the finer branches. I want that pretty much, it's like a sawtooth, a jagged sawtooth. And I'm sure you've seen these type of trees in your bushes there somewhere. Now I just want to get lots, let's start from about here somewhere. Just like that. From the tree, thick, and then just flick it out, little ones like this. Just randomly, just like that. Some on this side. Practice a tree like this. If you like this tree, just simply practice doing this tree in different ways, and it can be your favourite tree you put into your painting. When there's a painting you want to do and it's got trees in it, regardless what trees are in the reference photo or whatever, you just put your tree in it. There, and it's going to come down and then just flick up a little bit like that. You can have lots of little skinny branches coming off here. Get them crossing over like that. Just like that. Coming a bit fatter now towards the tree. There we go. Skinny one there. And just kind of branch all this up as well. This has got no foliage on it. This one's had his days. Now see, coming up, node, 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 node. See how they got those nodes on them? They just look more like they had life within them. Give them a bit of an elbow like this. Burn them down there, just like that. There's just so much fine stuff. You can go on forever with this. I'll probably detail this a bit more off camera, but you get the gist of how this tree is going. I'm just grabbing some more of the dioxine and a bit of black, mainly dioxine, just so as I can merge this bit of the ground now back here. Lower into this dark colours we put there. And you'll see just how this is kind of removing any just sudden line right across the horizon there. We're going to sink that tree into the ground there as well with this dioxine. We want to virtually about there. Darken some more of this up. Feathering into there as well, detailing that lighter stuff. It just gives it more, the lights and darks together, you can see what they do to each other. Getting just some dark bits within. I just randomly put that footstep trail there, so hopefully when the painting's all finished, it kind of shows people what it is, they know what it is instead of wondering what it is. So now back over here, we're going to grab the lighter value and start just highlighting bits gradually. So we could probably, yeah, that's lighter. See how that's lighter? Beautiful. We want it pretty much cutting that dark bit off. Cutting that dark bit off. Bits of Infinity X strokes crossing through some of there. Where are we? This is, it looks dark on the palette, but once I'm putting it on the canvas here, it's looking quite light. And just do a bit, have a look, see what vibes are going on your canvas there. Just crisscrossing. I'm not really thinking. Well, I am thinking, but you know, there's not a lot to it once you know what you can do just with your brush strokes. Just like one side of them kind of mapped in with some highlight on the side of the footprint in the, well, the footprint's made a hole in the snow. So this is kind of highlighting one side of them, hopefully. Now we'll get a little bit brighter than this. So from that, now we're going to go to this. So I've just wiped the brush, I haven't washed it. And we're going to, I'll pull this colour into there so you can see the difference of the transition. And we're gradually building up the white within our snow here. This looks white, but it's not white. You saw it on the palette down there, just what colour it is. Taper some of it in there a little bit. Not too big of a brush stroke if you can help it. Nice and sharp. You can control the thickness you want later. Just get it on there, have a look, see what's happening. Are you doing the right thing or a silly thing? Now see there, I feel, oh, that's a bit too bright. I can grab the darker colour and just kind of push it. Oh, had a bit of bright there. Just push it.
Get someone to brush it, Dag.
And just push it back. See what I've done there? Anything that's too loud and bright, push it back. Don't feel once you've done the brush stroke, it's unfixable. If it doesn't look, if you're not happy with it, you fix it. Don't feel it's got to stay there. And I might even get a bit of darker just to pull in here a bit from the bottoms. Now, do you want to put a shadow on that tree? If you don't want to, if you don't need it, don't worry about it. If you do want to, well, then you can. I'm just looking for the paint for the art's sake, so I might just grab the darkest dioxazine purple I can find of that vibe there. And I suppose the sun's gone down there, so if anything, we might try and follow the shape of our snow somewhere. Just make up your line, and with a bit of luck people will register this as your shadow to your tree there. Just coming off the edge of the painting there. Distorted, something about there. Join it into there, get that lighter colour again and start from there. Alright, I'll sign this. I can't whack a frame on it because it's a stretch canvas and my frames don't fit it. I'll do the smallest one I can. And I want to thank my YouTube members who hit the join tab on my YouTube channel here, and they support my content for the price of a coffee every month. Much appreciated. And every time I get a new member, I put their name down in the community tab there, welcoming them to my channel, thanking them for their support, and also like to thank the patrons. They get early access to all my content. Now that's not too shabby, I don't think. We've got a beautiful snow sunsetting colourful scene here, whatever you want to call it. There's so much you can do with that, but I know you can do it. Well, that was a lot of fun. I enjoyed that, and if you did, you be sure to tell your friends. But if you don't like what I'm doing, you tell everybody. Also, check out this other video of mine. Goodbye, good luck, and good on ya.